My name's Chef Egg, and I want to give you the skills you need to succeed in the kitchen. Today, we're going to make homemade marinara sauce. Now, the first thing we're going to do is turn our pot onto medium heat. Let that sit for a minute before we start. Put a little bit of olive oil on the bottom, just enough to cover the bottom. Next, we're going to slice up some onion. So we're going to slice off the bottom. Slice off the top. And we're gonna cut down the middle of the onion. Then we're gonna peel it. You can use white onion, yellow onion, red onion, whatever works for you. I like one of those sweet Vidalia onions too. Next up, we're gonna slice along the grain of the onion, so along the lines. We wanna slice this as thin as possible. So use a bear claw to protect your fingers and to measure your cuts and get them nice and thin. Hear that sizzle. We're going to season these onions with a little bit of salt. We're going to saute the onions in the olive oil until they're nice and soft. It'll take about 5 to 7 minutes. All right, our onions are nice and soft. So we're going to take some fresh garlic cloves, give them a smash, come right out of the paper. There you go. Now, if you don't have fresh garlic, use some powdered garlic. Dry garlic works just fine. But we really want to use fresh if possible, okay? And we're going to give this a mince. Fresh garlic smells amazing. Add that in there. We're just going to toss this around for about 30 seconds. We don't want to burn the garlic in there. Just enough to release some of the oils, get some of the flavor out there. Nice medium heat will do just fine for us right now. All right, the minute you can start to smell it, we're going to take a nice hefty tablespoon of tomato paste. Start to concentrate some of those tomato flavors. Cooking the tomato with the onion and the garlic. That smells beautiful. We'll cook this for about a minute. Once it starts sticking to the bottom of the pan, then we're ready to move forward. That looks beautiful. Now we've got some canned tomatoes over here, and I like to get good Italian tomatoes if I can. When you go to the grocery store, you're gonna see $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, and $7 tomatoes. And that's how big of a difference in quality those tomatoes are. I like to go right in the middle, about $4 or $5, either a tomato from California or a tomato that actually comes from Italy. And there are some great brands in all of the grocery stores. If you can, just step up your canned tomato game and get something a little better quality, because it is going to affect the overall taste of your sauce. All right, this looks wonderful, and we're starting to get some little brown bits at the bottom. So what we want to do over here is take our tomatoes, and you're going to love this. We're going to take our tomatoes and we're going to smush them by hand right into the skillet. And the reason we do that by hand is because there are some kind of firmer parts to this canned tomato, and we want to make sure that we press those firmer parts so everything cooks up really, really nicely. Also, the consistency, overall consistency, works really well if you hand crush the tomatoes. All right, so let's give this a stir. Make sure we scrape up any of those little brown bits or the fond from the bottom of the pot. That looks beautiful. So now we want to simmer this on low heat for about an hour, okay? I know it's not a quick fix, right? But when we cook it for over an hour, we kind of mellow out the tartness of the tomatoes and bring out the sweetness, okay? So it's gonna ensure that we have a really flavorful sauce that's concentrated and tastes great with all kinds of things. So we're gonna drop our heat to low. All right, now here's a little trick. We're gonna take some carrot, just whole carrot, and we're gonna toss it in here. This is gonna give us a little bit of sweetness, okay? And then after that, we're gonna take some whole sprigs of basil and toss that right in there. That looks wonderful. All right, so cover this up, low heat for about an hour, and stir every 10 to 15 minutes to make sure nothing is burning at the bottom of the pot. Nice, this looks beautiful. Awesome. We're gonna let that simmer and see where it goes. Now, I love making a big pot of homemade marinara sauce. Generally the price is on par for what I would pay for it in the store, but the quality is so much higher, right? And if I can make a large pot and then freeze it into portions for later, I think that's a great way to invest my time into the kitchen. You know, whenever you can invest in quality food for your family, I think that's the way to go. All right, our sauce has been cooking for about a half an hour now. It looks really beautiful. It smells awesome. I'm just gonna give it a stir, and we can start to see the vegetables breaking down. Sometimes I can take my spoon and just kind of smash them up a little bit. But we want to keep continuing to cook this so the flavors can develop and become really, really delicious. While this cooks, we can get some water going for some pasta, but you can also serve this over some roasted sweet potatoes, or if you want to make like zucchini noodles or something like that. Whatever you're into, that is all good with me. Just make sure that this sauce cooks nice and slow over a long period of time. So our marinara sauce has cooked down. It's really rich, really, really delicious. So what we're gonna do now is take out our carrots. Take out the carrot. You can eat the carrot if you want, it's all good. And what we wanna do now is just give it a taste, okay? It tastes really good, but it needs a pinch of salt, a little bit of pepper. And while we added the carrot to the mix, it did need some more sweetness. So we're gonna take a little bit of honey and just drizzle that in. Sugar would be traditional, but we're trying to use more natural ingredients. So we're gonna spin this up. Now, this is a chunky marinara. It's something that I really enjoy. But if you want to take a hand blender or place this into a blender and kind of whiz it up until it's nice and smooth, that is totally up to you. I prefer it nice and chunky, just like this. So let's give this a taste one more time. That is perfect. That tastes really, really good. So the next step is to make some pasta out of this sauce, right? So we're gonna take another skillet, pop some medium heat on there. We've got some pasta that we cooked prior. So throw a little pasta in there. That looks awesome. Also, the trick to a good plate of pasta is taking some of that starchy pasta water and pouring it right in there. So we're gonna bring that up to heat. And we have our sauce over here. Our sauce is nice and hot. You always want to add a hot sauce to hot pasta, okay? So we're gonna take a few spoonfuls of this, nice and chunky. Stir that in there. Oh, that looks wonderful. Let this come up to a simmer. Just a little bit more. And I'm always gonna season the pan with just another pinch of salt and some fresh cracked pepper. I'm gonna take this and give it a little toss. Oh, that looks beautiful. So we're gonna take this pasta, serve it right on there. That is beautiful. Wipe up our plate a little bit. And now the last step, you know you gotta have some of that Parmesan cheese on top. So cover that up. Just like that. That is beautiful. And that's how you make homemade marinara sauce. My name's Chef Egg, and I wanna give you the skills you need to succeed in the kitchen. Peace.